Well, we heard voices under our window, and my roommate Judy was president of honor board, and I was in student government, so we thought we should see who was slipping away from campus on that night. And we got up, and as we looked under our window, there were people just walking very quietly. And so all of a sudden I looked out, I looked up rather than down, and the sky was red. And we knew that the main building was on fire.
I just remember it being 3 o'clock in the morning in a very, very cold night, and suddenly awakened by a knock on the door, and someone said, "Get out, there's a fire." And we didn't smell smoke or see anything. Just thought, oh, this must be a prank, you know. We just kind of were waking up and looking around. And she was going up and down the hall, knocking on every door and saying, "Y'all, please get out. It's a fire. It really, really is." And she said, "I'm not leaving till y'all get out."
I could see flames coming out of the front of Old Main. The business office and a few classrooms were over there and parlors, you know, so I could see the flames. So I hurriedly put on a double coat over my pajamas and ran over to see what was going on.
And so we quickly grabbed our coats, and of course Dr. Spears was outside. Bob Barham had come by that time. Dean Shula came a little later. He was living a little further, probably. But the girls were all out of the dorms. Judy and I felt that we should be helping because of our positions in student government. And I went to the door of East, and the guard said, "Everybody's out."
In a matter of minutes, we had everybody out of the building. All the students were out safely. Nobody was hurt. You know who the real heroine of that fire was? Miss Ludy Godbold. And bless her heart, she lived in the dorm as a faculty member, and it was her job to see that we had practice drills every now and then. And she had one 10 nights before this fire. For some reason, she felt it was time to have one. So she was a heroine.
I guess the most I remember was we all went and stood and watched all of the insides of main building just crash. And maybe my first lasting impression was seeing the giant chandelier as it fell from the ceiling. And there was not a lot of noise. Everyone was quiet.
At first, we just kind of huddled together until some official person came to direct us. And then they said, "We're all gathering in College Place Methodist Church." So that's where we were taken. And everybody was there eventually, and then they started counting and finding out for sure if everyone was there, and miraculously, we all were. There was not one person missing. And I remember Dr. Spears came in, and he was so grateful that there were no injuries or disasters. It was a miracle, really.
What I did, I didn't have time to plan it. It had to be ad-libbing. But I feel like it was God guiding me to make the next move. And so I just tried in my own faltering way to remind us that nothing had been destroyed that could not be rebuilt.
Terrible, so sad, so sad. Hard to believe, because I had lived in the dorms on both sides of the Old Main, and as a music major, I had practiced in those halls endless hours, and It was just really a sad, sad time.
I remember just seeing the 4 columns standing and all the rest of the building was leveled and gone. And
I was a senior that year, and not that that was a fond memory, but once we came back after leaving from the fire, there was a wonderful sense of unity on the campus, of hope, of we're going to get beyond this and things are going to be great. And they were. Everybody was happy, even though it was a tragic situation. It could have been worse. No one was hurt. And that will always stick with me, just that determination to make things go on.
Well, you know, it's so interesting. We were all enthusiastic. People spoke of the phoenix that flew from the fire. The rebuilding started. It was really a wonderful happening that we thought was so tragic.
we really benefited in that we got very close to each other. Having experienced all this together just kind of knitted us to a bond that was special.
The fire inconvenienced us greatly because we had to stack 3 girls to a room. But, you know, it never crossed our minds in 1964 not to cooperate. It was just the Columbia College spirit.
People were upbeat, and the usual Columbia College spirit prevailed all over campus, and it was a wonderful place to work and to be. And wonderful teachers, wonderful students, and it was just an exciting time. I loved it.
The fire was tragic in a way, but it was fulfilling and renewing. It baffled everybody to see how much people cared about the college when they saw it in deep trouble. And it went in the recovery of the college, reinstatement of the buildings started that first day.